Sinister Reflections. In the quaint town of Eldridge Hollow, where the fog clung to the cobblestone streets like a shroud, there stood an old antique shop known as Whispers of Time. The shop was a labyrinth of forgotten treasures, each item steeped in history and mystery. But among the dusty relics and faded photographs, there was one object that drew the most attention: a tarnished mirror, framed in intricate silver filigree, its surface marred by age. The townsfolk spoke of the mirror in hushed tones, their eyes darting nervously as they recounted the tales that surrounded it. They said it was cursed, that it held the souls of those who had gazed into it too long. But curiosity, as it often does, proved stronger than fear. One fateful evening, a newcomer named Clara, a writer seeking inspiration, stumbled upon the shop. The moment Clara laid eyes on the mirror, she felt an inexplicable pull. Its surface shimmered with an otherworldly glow, and she could almost hear whispers beckoning her closer. Ignoring the warnings of the shopkeeper, an elderly man with a knowing gaze, she approached the mirror, her heart racing with anticipation. As she peered into its depths, the reflection that stared back was not her own. Instead, she saw a shadowy figure lurking behind her, its features obscured by darkness. Clara gasped and turned, but the shop was empty, save for the shopkeeper, who watched her with a knowing smile. "It shows you what you fear most," he murmured, his voice low and secretive. Intrigued yet unnerved, Clara decided to take the mirror home, convinced it would inspire her next story. That night, as she sat in her dimly lit apartment, the mirror loomed ominously in the corner. She could feel its presence, a weight in the air that made her skin crawl. But she was determined to confront her fears. With a deep breath, she approached the mirror once more. This time, the reflection was clearer, and the shadowy figure took on a more defined shape, a twisted version of herself, with hollow eyes and a sinister grin. Clara's heart raced as she stumbled back, her mind racing with questions. What did it mean? Was it a manifestation of her insecurities, or something far more sinister? Days turned into nights, and Clara found herself drawn to the mirror like a moth to a flame. Each time she gazed into it, the figure grew bolder, whispering secrets that sent chills down her spine. It spoke of her deepest regrets, her unfulfilled dreams, and the darkness that lurked within her soul. The more she looked, the more she felt herself slipping away, losing touch with reality. Friends began to worry as Clara became a shadow of her former self. She isolated herself, consumed by the mirror's haunting allure. The shopkeeper's warning echoed in her mind, but it was too late. The reflection had taken hold, feeding off her fears and insecurities, growing stronger with each passing day. One stormy night, Clara stood before the mirror, her reflection now a grotesque parody of her former self. The figure grinned wider, its eyes glinting with malice. "Embrace me," it whispered, its voice a seductive hiss. "You cannot escape what you truly are." In a moment of desperation, Clara reached out to touch the glass, her fingers trembling. The surface rippled like water, and before she could pull away, she felt a cold grip seize her wrist. Panic surged through her as she was pulled into the mirror, the world around her dissolving into darkness. The next morning, the townsfolk found the antique shop eerily quiet. The shopkeeper stood by the mirror, a knowing sadness in his eyes. Clara was gone, her presence absorbed into the cursed glass. The mirror now reflected only the empty shop, but if one looked closely, they could see a faint outline of a figure trapped within, forever whispering secrets of despair. And so, the legend of the mirror grew, a sinister reflection of the fears that dwell within us all, waiting patiently for the next curious soul to gaze too long into its depths. Eldridge Hollow remained shrouded in fog, the whispers of time echoing through the streets, a reminder that some reflections are best left unseen.